I thank you everyone for joining in. We're just waiting for a few of your more friends to join in. And before we start, so just bear us for at least five more minutes, and we'll be starting in 5 minutes. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. We do have our guest speaker for today who has joined us. We'll be starting in another 5 minutes. Just bear with us for 3 more minutes. We'll be starting by 4:05.
Let's start action.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madan, for joining in, and everyone else as well. My name is Akshit, and I would be your host for today. Uh, be- okay, so before we move ahead, I would want to introduce Nursify a little to everyone. So I hope most of you know that you've registered with us for different processes, but today we are here to guide you on how to crack uh, your dream job, or how to crack that one job that will change everything for you. We have our guest speaker for today, Mr. Chandar Madan, who's also CEO and founder for Nursify, who will be guiding with us, who will be helping us rather in realizing how to best prepare ourselves today, because there's a lot of uncertainty that is happening in Western countries due to a lot of reasons. So what are the steps that we as a candidate should take in order to be prepared and in order to be ready for future opportunities for us? So, Mr. Madan, yes, okay, great. So before we start, may I have a few words from you, Mr.
Sure. Thank you, Akshit. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on wherever you're calling in the world. Um, as Akshit introduced, I'm founder of Nursify. We are in the business of connecting nurses and doctors and other healthcare professionals to hospitals worldwide. And we thought it may be an idea to share some of our thoughts on how you can crack your interview for your dream job. Um, as you know, the demand for nurses is still there across the world. There may be turmoil in some of the markets, but I think fundamentally the healthcare workers are in shortage in most part of the world. Uh, we may have spoken to you in various capacities or various um, processes, but we thought it's probably a good idea to share our experience of interacting with thousands of nurses. I've personally spoken to 5,000 plus nurses myself, and we got an interviewed. We got about 10,000 plus nurses interviewed with the hospitals. We want to make sure that we share that knowledge, that experience, so that you are better prepared. The way we're going to run this is Akshit is going to ask me few questions, and then uh, we will open up for questions for you. And that's how the structure is going to be. And at the end, Akshit will basically talk about what's in it for you in the program as well. Okay. So thank you so much for joining in on a Saturday. We really appreciate that, and we look forward to interact and work with you. Back to you, Akshit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So, as Mr. Madan rightly mentioned, so what you guys need to do is just be on mute. If you have any questions, you can type it in the chat box or send or maybe raise your hand so that I can unmute you and you can ask us any questions that you might have. We'll be happy to take all the questions once I am done asking the questions, the kind of questions that you have requested me to ask. So what we have done, we have compiled a list of questions for Mr. Madan so that we can understand the every aspect of what we should be doing now, and then we can proceed ahead. So the first question, Mr. Madan, that I have for you is to understand. I think you rightly mentioned that there is demand. So what exactly does the structured way, or does the demand really look like for nurses, or rather healthcare professionals who are willing to go to developed countries such as Canada, UK, US?
Yeah, so that's a very, very interesting question. And, uh, you know, lot of there is lot of rumors, lot of buzz around in the market, lot of pessimism in the market around what's happening right now. To the best of uh, my knowledge, or this is my personal belief, that the demand in most developed markets like UK, Australia, Canada, and US, the population is aging. There, there is a lot of demand from nurses, or rather from hospitals, to serve patients who are, uh, who need talented nurses like you, or talented, healthcare professionals like you. And so fundamentally, whether it's UK, US, Canada, Australia, I think because the population is aging, because some of the workforce is retiring, the demand for the healthcare professionals or nurses remains very, very high. Number one. Number two, although some of the countries may have chosen to limit immigration like US, like UK, but in my humble opinion, that's more temporary than for now. And long term, this is not sustainable, because otherwise their local systems are going to break. I still hear issues of patients' wait time increasing, patients not getting enough attention, and having to wait forever to get a treatment in these developed markets. There was a recent story of Indian dying in Canada because of a heart attack, not because they didn't have hospitals, because they didn't have a nurse. So there are situations like that, and so the demand still exists. Temporarily, the government may have restricted the inflow in the country, but I fundamentally believe longer term it is going to be there. So the demand for you as an international nurse in these markets still will continue to exist. We may have some short-term blips, but I think longer term it's going to get back to the requirements one more time. That's what I believe. So you should be ready, prepared when the opportunity arises, whether it is 6 months, 12 months, or a year, or 2 years. I can't predict that, unfortunately. But I think what I can tell you is definitely you are required, you are needed, and hang in there. And uh, when there is a storm in the sea, what do the sailors do? They build their nets, which means they prepare. So best what you can do is prepare, and so that once the sea is calm, when the recruitment demand opens up, you are there first in the queue. Okay, so yes, there is a huge demand. It's a question of time that they resume the hiring, and you should be fully prepared. Yes, Akshay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. I believe all of you understood that we need to be prepared for okay. So, Mr. Madan, Reema has a question here. We know that the demand is there and we don't have a problem with waiting, but we are aging as well, waiting for a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think good point. Um, uh, See, to be very honest with you, except for Saudi or Middle East, we have not seen age restriction in any other part of the world. And so, um, you know, you are the best strategy for you would be if you really want to move across, um, you know, Gulf countries are still hiring. Qatar is still, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, uh, Oman, Kuwait are still hiring. Uh, I think you could, if you want to make a move, maybe you can. But I don't think overall age is a concern for any nurse because we have sent nurses as young as 24 and as younger as 55 as well.
I hope that answers your questions, Reno. Okay, great. Okay, so if you guys have any other questions, you can still type in here. We will be very happy to answer those. The next question I have, Mr. Udan, for you would be, according to you, what are the mistake a job seeker would make today, and what would be the difference between them getting an opportunity and somebody not getting an opportunity, even the talented ones or the hardworking ones?
Yeah, I think first of all, uh, while there is a demand, uh, there is, the space is getting competitive. And uh, when I say competitive, a lot of people are now being available for opportunities that uh, may exist in the future. So the competition is increasing. Um, the the mistakes job seekers may make today that stop them from getting the dream job, or you know, despite having a lot of talent, some people are struggling. Um, let me let me let me say this: when there is a lot of competition, what you can do is prepare and prepare well, because your competition is working and preparing as we speak. So if you don't prepare, you are left behind. Okay. So uh, some of the common mistakes I see is people applying to jobs without any strategy, which means if there's a job in Saudi, they'll go ahead and apply it. There's a job in the UK, they'll go ahead and apply it. In Canada, US, so on and so forth. Okay. Without realizing that some of the applications, or rather all the applications, would have to be with the strategy. For example, if you want to go to the US, great, for better work-life balance, for better opportunities, fantastic. That's the right place to do. But 10 years, but we know that for some nationalities, it can take about 10 to 12 years to get a green card. So if you want a green card, you should be willing to wait for that long. And by that time, your kids would have grown up. You should have had a plan to get them into a college, uh, your cost, or if you're green card holder at the state's cost. So all of that strategically needs to be planned in a way that uh, defines the choice of location for you. So I think applying with strategy is very, very important. A lot of people, what they do is they would send a same resume everywhere, just change the name on top. So, for example, if Akit is working with Nursify and I'm working with another hospital, uh, they'll apply to both of us and with the same resume. Okay. And if Akshit and I are a friend, I'm sure we're going to find out one day that so and so has been applying with same resume. So I think the they make it very generic resume, which may not be good. So, for example, I will talk about some of the specifics of the resume in a minute, or rather in few uh, minutes. We will talk about that. So, have a strategy. Don't throw in your generic resume to every place that you go to, and take the interview very, very seriously. Many people just underestimate the value or the value of the interview. And just being there, just not having a knowledge, having a degree is not enough. Presenting yourself well, because I think many times we underestimate the importance of presentation. So knowing is great, rather good, but how you present that knowledge to the interviewer with your experiences, by giving examples, by sharing your experiences, by sharing customer stories or patient stories, is going to what make the difference. So I think a lot of people miss the presentation piece and struggle in getting job interviews. I'll give you an example earlier as well. You know, yesterday I had a candidate who's a PhD in nursing, by the way. Okay, she did overall she did well, but her introduction word was pathetic. Sorry to say this way. Okay, and I was almost losing her, in the sense that I would have immediately said no, but then I decided to apply some patience and asked her some different kind of questions and with some clues, and she did well. Okay, but having the talent is just not enough. Okay, and you have to make sure that you are worth the while. Most interviewers will have 10 to 15 seconds or maybe 20 seconds to go through your resume. Okay, and after a few lines, if they don't like it, they will just send it where? To the dustbin. Okay, and most interviewers will usually decide within the first 5 minutes of the interview whether you're worth the time or not. Okay, and if you present yourself well, if you're there and you position yourself well, you are going to lose if if you haven't presented yourself well. So difference between talented and hard work people not getting the job and the ones who are getting the job is that they will show and tell very well. They will share examples, they'll share stories, they'll show that you are the most pleasant nurse to work with. Okay, that's what will make it different between the ones who do get the role versus who don't get the role. Yeah, and as I said, some of the mistakes I talk about, don't commit those mistakes. Another mistake I can tell you is that in your resume, it's not structured. You write, ABC Hospital, this year to this year, XYZ Hospital, this year to this year, and they will just randomly mention with wrong dates and all that, but randomly mention roles and responsibilities at the end. No. The best way to do this is, and I'll again talk about ideal resume format, but in your resume, you should be mentioning things like, name of the hospital, how many bedded it is, what is the department you worked in, what's your current profile, and what are your roles and responsibilities. And below that, you should mention the kind of cases managed or equipments handled. That gives an idea of the detail that you have provided to the hospital for them to make a call. Okay, this is just one example. Okay, or some of the other example I can give is, you go into the interview and you don't break the ice. Okay, so for example, if the interviewer asks a question, "How are you doing?" Fine, and you stop here. Okay, disastrous response. And so the way to do this would be, they'll say, "How are you doing?" Say, "Good morning, I'm doing well, thank you." "How are you doing?" See the energy, and breaking the ice with the interviewer is very, very important. So all in all, it's not about how good you are. It's about how well you present yourself in front of the interviewer. That's what makes the difference. Yeah. Sorry for the long-winded answer, but I thought I'll kind of provide you some context and perspective on this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Matan. Now that we have a few questions here in the chat box that needs to be answered. So Rima is again asking, is there any age requirement to be as an international nurse looking for a good opportunity? Can I have a good opportunity as a director of nursing here in KSA, specifically in Jeddah or somewhere in Qatar?
So first of all, what was the first part of the question? Sorry.
Is there any age requirement to be as an international nurse?
So the only age requirement I've seen is in Saudi, and also maybe in UAE as well. So I think in Saudi, typically if you're after 45, they will not consider you. But if you are up to about 44, they will consider you. Second question was around director of nursing. We did have nursing manager roles, but what you can do is share your resume, and we can share with the client, because one of our clients is still hiring a lot of candidates on lot of nursing candidates, and I would reckon that they would need senior people as well. I don't have a confirmation yet, but share your resume and we'll be happy to take it forward. Maybe you can, Akshit, you can type your email ID and we can get the resumes across. Yeah.
Sure. Now we have another question here in the chat box, and that is there any recruitment for EB3 and Indian nurses in the USA? How can an Indian nurse go to US?
Yeah, sure. Yes, so somebody asked the question around the age again. So in the UAE or in Saudi, sorry, they will not accept nurses over 45 years of age. But rest of the world is very, very flexible on the age. Hope this clarifies. If it does not, please drop a message on the chat and I will try to answer that in a more, I'll elaborate more. I'm sorry, actually, you have to repeat the question.
Yeah. So the next question that we have is from Himanshu. Again, the age question. How do I get on board the nursing officer position? Please call me by name.
Sure. Yeah. So, for the nursing officer position, you need to apply. So again, which country are you looking at? I think you need to be more specific about it. Okay. Only then I can answer that question. If it is UAE or Saudi, share your resume with Akshit or hello@nursify.co.uk and we can manage that. There was another question around Indian nurses for US and EB3. Yes, so the green card process for Indian nurses is very, very long given the relocation, at least 10 to 12 years. And it's going to be very difficult. So there are two ways you can manage this process is either you go there first as a dependent of H1B or EB3, which is green card, and then you go and apply for authorization to work. Number two, you can go on a H1B cap exempt case, and you know the issues around H1B first, on the visa piece, but hopefully it will get sorted out soon. So go on a H1B, and then you transition to EB3, which is a green card holder. Third option is that you go to Canada, work there for 5 years, get your own passport, Canadian passport, and then travel to US under a visa called TN visa. The TN visa for even Indians is very, very easy as long as they have Canadian passport. Okay, so these are some of the options for Indians to go, but I'm happy to take more questions.
Okay. So again, the same question. Rima has another question. She's saying that she had an interview scheduled for 31st March in the US Embassy for EB3 green card. That could not happen because of the political situation. What are the alternatives, like EB2? And my immigration process took more than 3 years, but no finalization. I got an offer letter from New Jersey, but what is the benefit of that?
Yeah, so I think Rima, I would like to take this topic separately because I think you have a very, very specific query. So let's deal with that separately if you don't mind. In the interest of time, I would like to address more generic questions and how to prepare if you don't mind. Yeah.
Next question we have is from Abdel. He's asking, he's from Sudan. What are the opportunities to work in Qatar or Canada?
Yeah, it depends on your nationality. Sorry, not nationality. I beg your pardon. Your specialty. Definitely, there are positions in Qatar that are available in ICU, Med-Surg, and labor and delivery, and Canada as well. So I think reach out to my colleague Piyush, maybe for Canada, and he'll be happy to help you figure out an opportunity. Sudanese are still being hired by hospitals in Canada, and they welcome any nationality for that matter.
Okay, great. So now coming on to the questions that we have already had for you. Okay. So coming on to today's scenario, so what do you think, where do most people go wrong in terms of their resume, LinkedIn profile, or interviews? What exactly is it that they do wrong?
Yeah. So couple of things. First of all, if I talk about resume, I think I touched upon this earlier. I have seen close to 8,000 to 9,000 resumes by now over a period of last 2 years. And I see that resumes in all shapes and sizes, okay? Even from some of the most advanced countries, I've seen not so professional resumes. But, so for example, somebody will just write, RN, hospital, da 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 da, and from this date to this date, then from second hospital, this date to this date, third hospital, this date to this date. So resume is all over the place. Okay. The best way to prepare your resume is, bring in the crispness and sharpness in the resume. So how would I organize my resume for the example I just gave earlier? Okay. So what I would do is write my name, of course, email ID, and then follow that by, for the experience piece, your educational qualification, your licenses and, training that you've gone through. And then for the experience, I will write hospital A, this many bedded, that's 100-bedded hospital. What is the patient-nurse ratio? And how many operating rooms are there in the hospital? And then I will write my roles and responsibilities that I've conducted, followed by the cases that I've managed and the equipments I've handled. Okay. Then the second hospital, similarly, third, so on and so forth. Now, so this removes complete ambiguity from your resume. And by looking at the resume, they know that what your experience is. If you don't write that well, then I think the interviewer is not going to get the idea as to what you are trying to say. Okay. Because to me, if once you write it like this, then it is very, very easy to for interviewer to figure out and get an idea of experience. I mean, yesterday I had a nurse. So I think that's what you can do in resume. To give the example, yesterday I had somebody with 20 years of experience, worked in rehab, worked in medical surgical, worked in ICU, ER, but nowhere in the resume she had mentioned department. So nobody could find out for 20 years what exactly she had done. And I had to ask 10 questions to get an answer. So I think on the resume side, if you bring it the element of crispness, organize your resume with clear R&R, roles and responsibilities and cases, that's good. On the LinkedIn profile, the mistake most people make is they don't make it searchable. So use keywords. So for example, if we are looking for nurses for the US, we will type in the keyword USRN or NCLEX or, name of the states, for example, or license, New York State of License, or New York, I beg your pardon, New York Board of Nursing. So Board of Nursing, NCLEX, USRN is the keywords we're going to use. So in the LinkedIn profile, use right keywords so that you are found. And once we type in the keywords and your profile lands, we will, then send you an email to connect with you. So I think on the LinkedIn profile, make sure that your profile is searchable with the right keywords. And last but not the least, I think many people underestimate the value of interview etiquettes. Okay. I've seen people, coming to the interview without turning on the video. I've seen people turning on the, coming to the interview with a background where the clothes are hanging, or I've seen people who are not making the eye contact, like I'm looking into the camera while I'm talking, as if I'm talking to each one of you, whether it's people like Jagjot or Sunil or Himanshu or Glory for that matter. Yeah. So I think don't underestimate um, the value of good interview etiquettes. And as I said, present yourself in a way that leaves a long lasting impact on the interviewer. And if you have done that, then I think uh, you're good to go. You will be selected, and you know, um, you will have a much better chance of success, uh, than anything else. Over to you.
Thank you. Now we have got questions from uh, Glory. She's saying, I have a HCPC registration in the UK to work as a speech therapist. If I could do my master's 2 years in the UK, is it possible to work part-time along with my studies in my field?
Yeah, definitely. If you're going for studies, you are allowed to work for 20 hours a week. So yes, definitely you can study as long as you complete all the licensing process and acquire your license. Yes, you can.
Okay, okay, great. Um, Jagjot, um, okay. Jagjot Brar is asking how to prepare for interview, and Glory is asking what all to include in the introduction.
Yeah. So I think let me cover. Um, yeah. So definitely, when you're introducing yourself, talk about. I would say keep it brief, but keep it energetic. So if you say, "Hi, my name is Chandar. I'm a registered nurse. Um, from let's say UAE. I worked in ICU, medical surgical, and ER for XYZ number of years. I'm dedicated, compassionate, hardworking, and a good team player." So talk about who you are, what experience you have, and if it is multi-country experience, mention that those countries, and also talk about at the end about your strengths as well. That's it, and it will do the job. Okay. Uh, no need to mention your age or your village name or your grandfather's name in the in the introduction. No, uh, keep it simple, keep it crisp, keep it short, and most likely that introduction will uh, be good enough. And thank you for asking that question, because every interviewer will probably assign 90% weightage to this introduction question. Tell me about yourself. Okay. And they have decided at the end of that answer whether they will choose you or they will reject you. Okay. Trust me, they have almost decided. Unless somebody is so eager to have you that they will give you enough clues to help. Okay. Guys, the market is getting very, very competitive. Okay. Um, if one person is able to perform better in the interview, they have a more likely chance uh, to get the job versus somebody who can't. So that's the that's probably an answer to tell me about yourself question, or introduce yourself question. There's one more question on that. Sorry, I missed it.
Uh, how how to how to prepare for interview, Jagjot?
Yeah, yeah. I think preparation. Talk to us. We will have mentors to train you. Definitely, we can do that. But Some tips: prepare yourself well, know about the hospital you're going to join. In fact, know about the interview you're going to meet. And if I was you, I'll probably go look at LinkedIn profile. So for example, if you're doing interview with Vikas Mondal, who's on the line here as well, I would know more about Vikas. Go to the LinkedIn profile, see where all they have worked, and maybe get to know them more online. Number two, I will research about the hospital who's hiring, their presence, their facilities, etc. I will check. Number two, make sure that you customize your resume to the hospital you're going to join. So if somebody is an orthopedic, primarily orthopedic specialty hospital or multi-specialty hospital, talk about those two specialties. Then talking about, let's say, stroke or dementia or Alzheimer's. One is a mental health case and the other one is an orthopedic case, right? So, customize your preparation to the strategy you're going to adopt and where you're going to go. If, again, as I said, research about the hospital, do enough background, make sure that you can customize your responses to the questions they will be asking. If you go general, you're not going to get much, better outcome than you would have. So the outcome will be that you will fail. But if you are prepared well and you've done yourself well if you've done well in the interview, then you're more likely to secure the job. Yeah. So prepare, do your research, follow all the etiquettes in the interview, share stories, share examples. Okay. I asked somebody, can you give me a time when you made a mistake? And she said, I never make mistakes. That's suicidal. Okay. Instead, what I would have done is I would have probably undermined that mistake. I'll say, yeah, to err is human. Everybody makes mistake. I like to give an example of a mistake that I made during my student life. So you're giving example of student life, which is forgivable, versus something from your professional life that is probably not forgivable. Okay, so be smart. Share your stories, share your examples. If they ask about, what do you do if you see a patient fall down on the floor, as an idea. Okay, so make sure you give an example. You don't say that I never encountered these situations. Okay, you may not have, that may be truth, but at that point in time, they're looking for answers. Okay, so be yourself, be present, make sure you have an excellent presentation, share your stories, share your examples, give a lot of examples, and rest of it, you should leave it to the interviewer to deal with. These are just some tips I talked about. If you joined our mentorship classes, what you will see is that our trainers will be happy to help you. This plus a lot more tips to crack or ace the interview for the hospital.
Thank you so much for sharing the framework, Mr. Madan. If somebody follows this, what kind of result or career growth can they expect now? I mean, is there anything that we can expect while we try to follow up on the kind of structure that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think, look, first of all, uh, you know, you will get a complete clarity on what you are looking for. Sometimes, you know, I'm applying to Dubai, I'm applying to US, I'm applying to Canada, Qatar, or whatever comes in my way. Okay. First, I think if you decide be clear about what you're looking for. So clarity, it gives you clarity. Um, Secondly, if you follow this structure, you will get more interview calls, hopefully. Um, and the more interview calls, I'm sure you will struggle in the first few ones and then you will succeed later. But you're sure to get more interview calls. You'll perform better in the interviews, and of course, you know, uh, you get selected. Trust me, the interviewer wants to hire you. Okay, it's only you who can uh, probably spoil the process by not being structured, not being expressive, um, and what I've seen is a lot of people who have followed this structure have been able to get clarity in their head as to what they're looking for, get more interview calls, and you know they have been praised for doing well in the interview with high scores, and of course, they've been able to get selected. That's the outcome you can expect. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So, Mr. Madan, the understanding that we would want to have from here on is um, for somebody who's serious about changing, taking the next step, what exactly is the next step that they'll be taking with us now?
Yeah. So I think, get yourself assessed, with one of our recruitment consultants, assess where you are, identify your gaps, and, then you go step by step. I had a nurse recently who was uh, excellent nurse, done her PhD, very well articulated, and but she wasn't able to present herself very well. So, we ran a 1 hour mock session. We gave her the feedback, and at the end, I think she went back with flying colors and a lot of smiles, as she knew that she has figured out what the problems were. So assess yourself, identify your gaps, and then go step by step. We are here to help you. Our team of trainers, with of course help from our partner, are there to help you. They will run through a structured program with you, and hopefully by the end of the program, you will not only learn the basic concept, but will also go through the training process to make yourself prepare for the interview.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So Mr. Madan, the program that we're talking about, how can people learn about it and implement all of this in a structured way? What exactly will be the program and how exactly will be getting the benefit of it?
Sure. So we have conducted more than 10,000 interviews with nurses all across the world. We understand that space very well. We bring in the experts or subject matter experts or domain experts who can train you on answering healthcare specific questions. Yeah, so based on all the 10,000 challenges we faced in the interview, as I said, we've spoken to 10,000 plus people. We have structured a program right from doing the first step of resume building to interview preparation, to guidance as to how do you prepare for interview, how you present yourself, how do you share your examples, and uh, you know to help you become successful. There's a structured program, and Akshit can talk about the detail in a minute, where we cover the interview preparation, resume writing, and then a mock interview with the subject matter experts. Okay. And if you complete all of these, your chances of selections are more than 90%. Okay. We know, without bragging about it, when we see a good nurse, we can tell if they'll get selected or not. When we see a bad nurse, not bad, nobody is bad, but when we see a nurse who may need to develop few skills, then we will let them know, hey, you got to work on these skills so that we can get you a better role. So the whole idea is to guide the nurses or any of the healthcare professionals in a way that you can land your dream job. That's what our objective is. So we cover interview skills, resume writing, and also run mock interviews from the subject matter experts. If you need help with the English exam, like OET, IELTS, PTE, we can cover that. If you need licensing help, if you're going to Canada or UK, we will be happy to provide you the necessary licensing help and also the registration for the license as well. Yeah, Akshit, maybe you want to cover in bit more detail, and maybe if you have a form, then nurses can register on the form as well. Yeah.
This is the form that nurses can register on. And just to show, so everybody who's interested to prepare themselves for the better opportunity can register on the link that I've just shared in the comment box, and you will get a call from us.
Yeah. Then there are some of the questions. You can still take it from the.
Sure. So Himanshu could not hear what you answered for him. He's asking the age requirement and how can he get on board the nursing officer position.
Yeah, so as I said, there are no age requirements or restrictions in any other country except Saudi, which is 45 in Saudi Arabia. Having said that, if you could share your resume and one of our recruitment consultants will speak to you to understand your capabilities, to understand your skill set better, we are better able to guide you. I think there are enough number of vacancies in Saudi. UK is a bit slow, and if you are looking for other markets, we can guide you accordingly. Okay, but actually, was the question more specific to UAE?
He's not mentioned about the country that he's willing to go to.
Okay.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question is from Ahmad. He's asking, as a Pakistani in KSA having 15 years experience, what's the steps to secure job in Luxembourg or Spain as GNM nurse and how to contact you?
Send your resume to hello@nursify.co.uk. If you're looking for, did you say Germany?
Luxembourg and Spain.
Okay. So Luxembourg, yeah. I'll be honest, we don't have any opportunities in Luxembourg yet, but share your resume. Once we have something, we will certainly would love to get in touch with you.
If I'm not aware of the topic, they asked, how should I respond?
Interesting. I think I'll be honest. If you don't know about the topic they asked for, you can either seek clarification. Maybe uh, they use a different term in their country. If you still can't answer, I think be honest. You say, I don't know. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. Because sometimes, we believe that giving a perfect answer, it's not an exam. Okay. It's an interview. They want to know you, and they really want to know you as a nurse. They want to know what kind of personality you are, um, whether you are able to adapt into the system, whether you are, um, you know, uh, able to work as a team, will you adjust to the culture and the country? Okay. It is not an exam. So just be honest.
Thank you. So now if you guys have any other questions, you can type in the chat box. And in the meantime, I would like to show you what Mr. Madan has just spoken about, the process or the course that can help you maybe become a better nurse, or maybe help you in achieving your dreams. This is a pricing structured for that particular course or a training module. So first module, which includes interview training, resume writing, and mock interview with the subject matter expert, would be costing anybody would be just about 25,000 INR or 269 USD. The English language test preparation, which includes IELTS or OET, would cost anybody would about 15,000 INR or 161 USD. NCLEX would cost you 30,000 INR or 323 USD, while international nursing license process will cost you 50,000 INR or 540 USD. All of the process is, of course, we will be taking care of the entire process. In the first module, it will be 20 classes that will be included. And if you take NCLEX and international nursing licensing process, it will cost you just $809, which is also 75,000 INR. We would be happy to speak to you one-on-one just to understand how we can be there to help you in this process. This is a process wherein we help you achieve your dreams by making sure that you are competitive enough in the world on a global level. So this is to make sure that you are ready for global competition and your global opportunity that will come in the future. So yes, if I have NCLEX from NY board and want to process, Manisha is asking, proceed to Canada, please assist me.
Sure. Yeah. So please send your details. Which board are you registered on? Akshit?
She'll be able to answer, but she has not mentioned about that.
Okay. So if you have a US board registration, if it's New York, it's easy to transfer. Please share your details at hello@Nursify with your query, and our team will be able to help you process the same.
Or you can fill out this form. Everyone who needs any help in any kind of processing. Do you also offer job assistance? I have gap in my experience of more than 2 years. Sana is asking. Sana is saying.
Sana, if you're working currently, at least for last 1 year, you should be fine. If the gap is not recent, I think it's easy to position you. But if the gap is recent, it's going to be tough. But we can, share your details on hello@Nursify, and we can try.
Or
Any
Sana,
other-
you can also fill up this form.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this, everybody will get a form on their mobile, on their WhatsApps and their email ID. You can fill out the form there as well. If you guys have any questions, you can put in here in the chat box.
Sir, the chat box is not open. I can't access it.
Lovely, everybody is
Actually,
able to type it. I mean, it's open. Chat box is
yeah,
You have any question?
yes, actually, I have a question. I wanted to know more about the NCLEX exam.
Sure, you can ask here.
Okay, I wanted to know more about the NCLEX exam because I'm looking at training for the NCLEX.
Yeah. So that would cost you about $323.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it together with the registration?
If
Because actually, I don't know
if you take
where
the
to start
registration as
about
well,
it.
it will cost you $809.
Okay, that's in total.
Okay. I mean, if you take NCLEX exam and then the processing of license as well, that would cost you about $809 only.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's nice.
Thank you. So after this, we'll be sharing a link with every one of you. You can put in your query here. We'll be able to call you once you put in your interests in this.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan, for joining in. We would be happy to take all of your feedbacks to understand how we can be able to help you in going ahead of the process. And yes, Sana, NCLEX is mandatory for getting the license. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.